The River State political turmoil addressing the evolving landscape of governance in Nigeria at the state level is what we're about. And of course, joining me in this very, very sensitive discussion right in the studio, just at my immediate left, I have the Pandev National Youth Leader. He is Chief Don Ben Adoiga. Big thanks for coming.
Good morning.
And also close to the Pandev National Youth Leader is the convener of the Concerned Edo Citizens Forum. He is a political analyst, and he is Roy Oribabo. Big thanks for coming, Roy.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Well, we have the presence of Ahmed Mamadou, who is a social media influencer and, of course, policy analyst, joining us via Zoom from the United States, Texas, Houston particularly. Good morning, Ahmed.
Good morning, Philip. Good morning, viewers. It's a pleasure to be here once again.
Well, let's hit the road. I remember vividly, Chief Don Ben, we sat here some weeks back, and we were talking about this whole issue of the River State crisis. Well, nobody would have thought that from the, positive remarks you made as regards the amicable settlement, between the two factions, that this would deteriorate and degenerate to this extent. Until I saw, on the news where Pandev, the youth wing, which was instituted by you, saying that the former governor of River State, who is the FCT minister, should apologize to Ijaw Nation and Pandev leaders for remarks made against it. But I don't know if this is unrelated or related to the issues, deepening crisis in River State as regards the political turmoil. But what have you to say in this development? Because recently, again, we just got the institution of the lawmakers stating that the governor and his deputy have committed gross misconduct. It's a so clear case of an impeachment process that is about to start. I don't know how you grade this.
Well, I want to appreciate you for bringing me back here again to clear the air, because first, we met Mr. President on the 11th of March last week, Tuesday precisely, at the presidential villa, with leaders of Pandev and also stakeholders, critical stakeholders. The number that actually went to the villa were numbering about 116 persons. So quite a large delegation that met Mr. President. In all of that, we didn't talk particularly on the River State issues. We went there to talk about the burning issues affecting the Niger Delta and the South-South.
Okay.
Particularly the South-South Development Commission. We are having a win that the NDDC stylishly will be scrapped and be replaced with South-South Development Commission. But that be the way I will come to that. On the River State issue, I did make it clear here, mention it very clear here, that he that blows the piper, they take the dance. So the judgment and whatever thing like that, it's a grand, it has been planned for a very long time to unseat the present governor of River State, similar in Fubara, and the deputy. So when you talk about gross misconduct, I don't see anything like gross misconduct that the governor and his deputy have committed. If the governor can adhere and obey the Supreme Court ruling, judgment, and is implementing the judgment, even the local government chairman that he asked to hand over to the highest officer in the local government council, the head of local government, he was even fast in doing that. It's not even necessary for him to do that. But because he wants to obey and also be a gentleman, he did it. Somebody like Wike will not obey that judgment, because Wike, for who he is, if you give Wike such judgment, which the local government council chairman that was duly elected voted for, which even has nothing to do with Supreme Court, it's only stopped at the High Court. You think a person like Wike will obey that judgment? He will not, but because he want to at least, for peace to reign, he obeyed. And also he went as far as even saying, well, since the Supreme Court has said I should represent my budget to the legislators, who we know that the 27 legislators are counterfeit, they are null and void, which the law clearly stated, but they forced their way into it because of their grand plan. He said, well, in the light of it, or let me also present a budget to them. But you know you are not a new man as a pressman and a media. It was locked outside by the legislators because they know that they have planned this thing. It's a grand plan to make sure that we don't give him audience, even to present the budget, because even they are the ones that are even contravene the law. Because if the law says you go back to your chambers, let the governor go and present the budget to you, which he has done before, and it's against the ethics of the law. Because you have presented a budget last year to the legislators, which they said, okay, it's not recognized by law. You know, I did say that even if you have 4 legislators in your government, and you know that you can work with those, you cannot stampede the state. You have to move on. It has happened in so many other states before. So he said, in the light of peace, okay, legislator, he wrote them, he called the speaker, the purported speaker, Amewele, and they gave him that credence, okay, come and present this thing to us. And when there, he was shut out. So you see that this thing has been masterminded, it has been planned, that it's not all about even presenting budget now. It's not all about removing a local government chairman to hand over to head of a local government administration, but it's about we must impeach him. And you should know that the people of Rivers State and the elites and the power brokers in Rivers State will not allow that, because one single man cannot stampede Rivers State because he's power drunk. So we know that thing is going to be a counterproductive something if you impeach Fubara.
Okay, I'll come back to you, but I take exception with you saying the purported speaker. Because he is the speaker.
I've never recognized
the River State.
I will never recognize him.
There's a court verdict
as far as
from
the
Apex Court.
As far as he has decome from his political party. That is why I said INEC is playing double game. INEC is the principal witness of this thing.
Okay.
Let them come and interpret.
Let's not increase the sins that have been attributed to the governor by the Assembly of Rivers State. They used to be 19, or as of today they are 19, but we don't know if it's going to increase beyond 19. Let's get to you, Roy. And some have said that political intrigues that exist in the political landscape of Nigeria should have made a governor similar to Fubara to know exactly how he should tread with caution. Now he embarked on this savage, and it's expected that this voyage he embarked upon should have treated with caution, like maybe wait for 2 years, play to the whims and caprices of the Godfather, in quote, before he now, and in the process of doing that, he will now at least have a good relationship with the State House of Assembly. But some say he didn't just do this, rather he threw caution, away from the political landscape, and then becoming what he's been faced with today. Do you concur with that argument?
Definitely. You recall when this issue started. Some of us in this program, I was taking Governor Fubara very serious. One, he gave us the impression that he's in charge. It makes us to believe that he was very strategic in what he was doing. And some of us, on the strength of that, we took it very serious. But not to me that the man was a stranger to strategic thinking. He does not have the capacity and the competency to read in between the lines. You are dealing, we have a saying that when you are dealing with the devil, you are eating with the devil, you will be with the Norseman. At this material time, he is dealing with the devil's uncle. And he wants to battle. He wants to battle without being prepared. He should pay for it. He should pay for it. How can you be a governor? Do you know Rivers State, because of the way and manner they are positioned? Since 1999, after being a governor of Rivers State, take it, they will, only former governor from 1999, they will be aspiring to take over as the president. Do you know why? Because of the volume of money in Rivers State. After being a governor, he was interested to want to be the president of this country. Amechi the same thing. Wike very just now was interested to be president. Even Wike was threatening the fellow governor that we remove him from office. Why was he doing that? Is it not because of the resources that is hitherto inherent in Rivers State? At what point did now Fubara could not utilize that potency of Rivers State? The resources is there. Fubara was not able to utilize it. Fubara could not negotiate with the House of Assembly. How Fubara was busy looking for cap without protecting his head. Now you are telling for him to take his cap, his head is about to go. That is my disappointment, and that's the reason I'm totally disappointed in the man called Fubara. He have mismanaged the whole process. What does it take? You know that the House of Assembly is the empty room. The House of Assembly are those who are the constitution have the power that at all costs they are the one who checkmate you. You were going to a battlefield with a man called Wike that you know that is very ruthless. He's possessed with an unforgiving spirit, and you know the man is vocal. He can mobilize at any level. The wife is very prominent in the judiciary. The friends are prominent in judiciary. You were going to war. You were not able to get some House of Assembly to yourself. You remember in Edo State, it took Obaseki almost 3.5 years before he was able to question the Godfather. Do you know the Godfathers? All Godfathers in this part of the world, they are ruthless. We are on a mission. They don't take anything apart from what they are interested in, which is deceit. Fubara woke up one morning and I said, I will not give Rivers money to this man. And this is the man who brought you to office. You know many persons were interested in this position. You were the least qualified in terms of popularity, in terms of resources. We go handedly took it upon his shoulder to say you will be with me in this struggle. And you agree with him. And unnecessary documents were done. Unnecessary discussions were done. All protocols were observed. And you were there. And you took the responsibility upon yourself. Only for you. And not few months into the office, you came back and started telling us that you are in charge. I was thinking that the man was very serious when he was boasting that I would the barrel. By the time I write and I said, these people are gone. He was not able to do that. He mismanaged all the people. And my friend here talking about Fubara also mismanaging because he came with lies, strategies he don't have. He was not thinking. He became very docile as a governor. And that's the reason why he's facing it. I have no apology to him what I'm saying. You cannot be going to war with people like Wike and you will be very docile. Docility will consume you, and that's what's going to consume you. It does not take it. I just use as an example. We have a government in Edo State. How many months? About 3 to 4 months now. Can be able to look at and say, leave House of Assembly by myself. Without fight, House of Assembly member, they are meeting, they are decoming to his party. Is that not strategic thinking? What is wrong with Fubara? For how long will Fubara continue to disorganize us in this country? He is aware that Nigeria is a corrupt system. The system that brought him to that place is a corrupt system. He's aware. Now he's trying to be very gentleman. He's trying to demonstrate that I'm a saint. How can you be a saint when you are here? These are the issues. We must critically tell this man. And we will doubt whether this man will spend another 14 days in power. Okay. Because of manner the way Nigeria
you seem to suggest that no matter what, there should be some political, compromise, even if it means sharing the common patrimony of the people.
My brother,
a Godfather.
There is nothing about the common patrimony in Nigeria. Let us not deceive ourselves. If it was on merit, will Fubara be there? If it was on merit, will Fubara, at the way and manner Fubara be managing Rivers State, and with this attitude is demonstrating and exhibiting now, it doesn't merit to be governor. Do you know what it is that you are a governor without being the governor? You refuse to think. You refuse to tell people how to. You refuse to lobby. In politics, lobby is a fundamental aspect of politics. How come Fubara was not able to lobby the House of Assembly? Okay. How come he was not able to reach out to them?
It's a lot of things, and what you've said, what I can deduce is this question, the system we operate here in Nigeria, talking about the political scene. But I'd love to move over to Ahmed Momodu, right there in Texas. First of all, I'd love to get your take and how you perceive the issue of Godfatherism in Nigeria. Ahmed, if you can hear me. Okay, so whilst we're trying to regain connectivity with Ahmed Momodu, let me move over to our guest in the studio. All right, we have him back. Thank you so much. Ahmed, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So aside talking about your feel and how you perceive Godfatherism in Nigeria, concerning the issue of the Rivers State saga, there are those who actually believe that there is a political backing to all of this, that the issue on ground right now is playing out because of 2027 election in Nigeria. There are those who feel that the president himself needs Rivers State to himself to be able to secure another term right here in Nigeria. What do you make of all of this?
I want to thank you again for having me. It's always a pleasure to be allowed to share my views. So regarding political godfatherism, it is beyond naive to assume that there will be a political system in Nigeria that exist without Godfatherism. The Constitution, by the terms that it has spelled out, that you must belong to a political party, and that political party must be the one that sponsors you to elected office, has already determined that there will be political godfathers. Because let's be honest with ourselves, political parties are not, they are engined by human beings. And these human beings want to accumulate power. And they want you to believe that they want you to accept their terms before they sponsor you as a candidate. So to come back and say you have a political godfather, you are being very naive. Like the other gentleman said, you know what the system is before you started. You cannot now halfway through the system come back and start telling stories. If you do not want to taste that soup, eat that soup, don't taste it. It's as simple as that. Now to the second part of your question. Yes, there are calculations obviously that this is part of the calculation for 2027 because Rivers State is fundamental to the election of the president to power currently. And of course, he's interested in what happens in Rivers State. But to go a little bit further behind the scenes, you see, a lot of, like the other gentleman said, politics is about lobbying, it's about making your own interests align with the majority of the people. If we're talking about loyalty, and Wike has been able to, at this point, gather most of the House of Assembly members to himself, then the question needs to be asked, why is Fubara on the other side? Because there are more people loyal to Wike than are loyal to Fubara. So somebody is playing his politics properly. Like it or not, Wike is playing his politics properly. He has the numbers, and he's telling you that he has the political strength to make sure that his numbers are the ones that govern Rivers. Power is not given on a platter of gold. You fight for it, you chase after it, and when you have it, you use it and you wield it. Fubara has played his politics, and sadly, I'm sad to say that his politics has been very bitter, has been very divisive. We recall when he went and laid waste to the House of Assembly complex. That was $1 billion naira edifice that he went and laid waste to because of his own interest. So look, at this point in time, the people of Rivers State have suffered the most. We need everybody to calm down and follow the rule of law. The courts have adjudicated and they've said that these are the validly elected members of the State House of Assembly, and that is what needs to be done. Everything needs to be done to follow the rule of law and to placate people as much as possible.
Now, speaking about the rule of law, just this morning on one of the front page of the dailies, the national dailies, we saw Fubara himself saying that he has been prevented to implement some of the, agreement from the Supreme Court by the lawmakers, that the lawmakers have prevented him to go through all of that. What do you make of it?
So, historically, we have to take some of the things that the governor sees with a pinch of salt, because several times they have had, even at a point in time, I think the president intervened. And the next thing we knew is that the elders in Rivers State came out and were saying that all that intervention was illegal because it was political and they wanted the rule of law, blah, blah, blah. So historically, it's difficult to sieve some of the truth from what he's saying. If he had come out from the beginning and he had been clear-handed, I believe he would have been received better. So you cannot blame these lawmakers if at this point in time they are unwilling to take what he's saying as the truth. If he had let him come out and say these things, let him come out and make this invitation open, and I'm sure he knows a better way to put his views across. Look, for example,
I must cut in here. I must cut in here because if you follow what has been happening, in Rivers State, attempts were made by the governor, to implement or rather to comply with the directives of the verdict of the Supreme Court. And of course, he made an invitation to the lawmakers to resolve this amicably, but they bluffed. And then he also sent a letter to the State House of Assembly indicating that he's coming to present the 2025 budget. And he went to the complex, but at the gate he was refused entry. And again, he also made an open publication on dailies, stating that he is ready to present the 2025 budget. So In what way will you now say that the governor wasn't ready to comply?
So the proper protocol when you want to come to the House of Assembly is to ask for them to choose the date. You don't. There are three arms of government, and all of them are independent and co-equal. It's not the governor that will impose his date on them. He will ask, and they will decide the date that is best suited for them. He's not required to. He's only required to write and request. He's not required to write and impose a date that is suitable for him. Look, we cannot continue to allow executive lawlessness and then just figure it out as we go along. The judiciary and the legislature must be treated as equals. They must be given the adequate respect to perform their functions. What the Supreme Court said is very simple. You cannot, for example, continue to govern a state with a minority number of the House of Assembly. Imagine the chaos that would have ensued if the Supreme Court had said the minority had the right to do what they did. What will we be talking about today? So the reasons that he has given, I followed everything that you've said, yes. But the point is, he would ask and they will determine when it is suitable to give him audience. It's not the other way around.
Chief Don Ben, you heard what they all said as regards the antics, the intrigues that is resulting to the political turmoil in Rivers State. But again, some have said that the aspect of Godfatherism and the need to not to throw caution into the wind was vehemently, not paid attention to by Governor Fubara. Could you see that as what is militating against him?
Well, I want to thank you once more because, one, I'm not in a habit of interjecting or stopping somebody from talking because we have freedom of speech and freedom of expression. That is why I don't stop, because whatever thing that man is seeing in the US there is not in Nigeria yet, so you don't know how it works. I'm so surprised that my friend is also towing the same line with him because, one, in the life, when you talk about governance, you are talking about the government of the people, by the people, and the people. That is democracy. Democracy itself has been truncated in Nigeria, especially in particular this Tinubu's administration. We are saying that we had it bad in Buhari's time, but this one is even worse. Look at what is happening in Lagos State. Is it not a shame to the president? You want to untwist his state. You are saying them Fubara ate, Fubara don't do this, Fubara don't do that. Let me tell you something. Even Wike rode on the back of somebody. Somebody brought Wike to power. If the person never allowed Wike to breathe the way he's doing to Fubara, will he become the FCT minister today? He will not. He wants to amass all the wealth, control all the resources of Rivers State. That is the game plan. And to make sure that he make the governor a stooge to him. And it can never happen. We are saying it. And for even to open his mouth to insult the John nation, he has even done himself the worst thing that anybody would. Because he has told the tale of a vampire. Just mark my word. We gave him 48 hours. I made that pronouncement in Abuja with the pressmen. We gave him 48 hours to apologize to E.K. Clark, apologize to the family, apologize to the John nation, and apologize to the list.
But it's beyond 48 hours. Now, what will you do?
Don't worry. I don't need to tell you what we'll do. You understand me? We're in the public domain. We don't need to say that.
But whatever you do will be within the ambit of the law.
No. Yes, it will be within the ambit of the law. What we are saying that, after all, there are intellectuals that can fight you. They have been fighting Fubara intellectually. We also fight them intellectually. Because we intervene. The body language of the president clearly stated when we met him on the 11th that he just won the state. He told the elites, he told the leaders, where you have, we can have insulted us. Because in that delegation, we have 6 paramount rulers. The Oba of Benin, His Royal Majesty, would have been there. But he took his excuse that, please, he's burying his mother, that he cannot afford himself. Pastor Osegi Zayamu was invited. The former governors, all the former governors that were there, were up to 6 former governors. You see ministers, senators, even serving senators were there. Timi Alabi was there, former MD of NDDC. Sereke Dixon, who is a senator now, former governor of Bayelsa State. Even our own son, Pastor Kayamo, was at the presidential villa. A lot of persons were there. Then we came to open his mouth and say we are going there to beg for money. That we are the worst organization that the Niger Delta have ever produced. It's an insult. If you want something even from your fathers, you don't insult them. You say for Fubara is not strategic. What is strategic? You must not be strategic to stampede the state, because we are talking about governance is all about the people and the elites. Governance, how you can touch the lives and transform your state.
But from the look of things, the governor seems to have lost it all.
No, the governor have not lost anything, because one, if you push somebody to the wall, he will always have an option. You said Wike has been able to woo the other legislator to himself. When you are paying somebody monthly with the state fund, with the money you are taking from the town, you are paying them continuously. Do you think those persons will not be loyal to you?
Even you still have the floor. Even as you talk about the issues,
yes,
pertaining to this. But don't forget that politics, like they say, is local, and again, politics is about the numbers.
Definitely, it's about.
Does he have the numbers?
He has the numbers
in the State House of Assembly.
Let me tell you something. Wike has succeeded. He knows his strategy. Just like what I agree with him on that strategic area of wooing legislator to himself. He stampede them, he put them, and he gave them instruction. He brought them in. Wike was the person who organized, who orchestrated this whole thing to bring them. But the governor in his own said, come, we can't continue like this. We can't, because if you say you want to rule this state the way you are doing it now, the people will suffer. The people will suffer, because it's all about human capital building and critical infrastructures to develop the state. So that is what the governor is all about.
Of course.
The governor is definitely loyal, because when you fought, we met with the governor. Even when Pandev set up the peace committee, we met with the governor. The governor said he has been calling his boss. He still regards Wike as his boss.
Now, speaking about the people, there's been counter reactions and reactions to all of this. And one major phenomenal person we've seen come out several times is Asari Dokubo, who has said that so many things might happen if Governor Siminalayi Fubara is being impeached. Now, from what I deduce from what you said, and also talking about the Ijaw nation, the tussle seems to be moving away from the political saga down to the ethnicity saga. Are we now seeing a bit of ethnicity tussle in Rivers State, saying we do not want our Ijaw brother to go and all of that?
Well, Fubara is not the first Ijaw person to govern Rivers State. We're not talking about Fubara. Understand me? When you abuse and spit on the face of people, it's like you are telling those persons that they are nobody before you. People that produce the brunt of what is ruling this country. You can't just come up one day and start insulting them, because they were the persons who even made you. Jonathan made him. Mama P made him. The president's wife took him to Odili, knelt down, and the person who is insulting even is at his death now, Papa Clark. He knelt down and told Papa Clark, please prevail on Jonathan to make me the governor. He knelt down in his parlor in Abuja there. He even went to meet him in Kagbodo. He said, okay, no problem, I will talk to my son. That was how the whole thing started. Wike is a serial betrayer of people that made him. You do not be surprised that the president of this country, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, will be the next line of action that Wike will insult. There's nobody he doesn't insult. He has touched the lives of so many people. So I will not be surprised that one of these days he's only making himself unpopular in Rivers State, and is making President Tinubu to lose the chances of 2027 in Rivers State and in your nation. Because we are cut across of so many states, and we give block votes. Many of us work for Tinubu to make him president. So if he fights us, well, there's no problem. We meet at the crossroad. We are not saying that the power is not there. The power is with him, no problem. Because power is transit. Where is Abacha today? All the big people in power, where are they today? It's transit. So if you say you want to wish on his son, impeaching Fubara is not even my business. Right. I don't take a side. I don't say if you impeach Fubara, I will go and blow up pipeline. No, I'm too matured for that. But the only thing is that allow him preach, allow him govern the River State the way he ought to govern River State. Because since the session of Fubara, he has not have rest of mind. He has given you so many ways. Okay, my Oga, take this. I will take this. But for you to say you want to rule and control the resources and the finance of River State, it's not acceptable. If you are the governor, will you accept it? Okay,
so speaking about having rest of mind, that's a perfect landing to even, flow through. Let me move over to you, Mr. Roy. Let's talk about the issue of governance, the people. Because governors, presidents, and all of the political elites, they're there to serve the people. And there's a saying that says, when two elephants fight, the ground suffers for it. So what do you think is the stand of Rivers people in all of this? Do you think they're in support of their governor, Sim Fubara, or the predecessor, who also doubles as the minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike? What do you think is their stand?
I think the people of Rivers State at this material, they are divided among.
Really?
Yes, they are divided. They are not on the same page.
They are not divided. They are fully with the governor.
The
people of Rivers State are fully. That's why they say the governor should not step his feet in Rivers State again. The people are not with the governor.
But we still do that.
The FCT minister, sorry. They say the FCT minister should not come to any place in Rivers State again for the problem is causing the Rivers State.
But do you think you have the power to do
that? That was why you have. You said?
Do you think that
no,
recently when he went for a reception, when he went for a reception in one of the jobs,
we'll come back to you.
Do you know what happened?
No.
He ran away.
We will know what happened when we come back to you. But Roy has the floor.
Right.
You know, the people are divided. Along along political party, along loyalty, and along what they will benefit. You know, in this part of the world, I've been analyzing the Nigerian politics for almost 20 years now. Therefore, I can do a projection. And I'm also a trade lobbyist. Therefore, when I'm talking, I do my research work. As of today, the people of Rivers, they are divided. One, the House of Assembly, they also have their followers. As we are talking now, the House of Assembly have their followers. And those persons are with the House of Assembly. As we are talking now, Wike also has strong follower in Rivers State. That is the reality as of today. The governor also have his own follower. You know, Wike, when I'm talking like this, not because I'm praising Wike. It is the system we have found ourselves. We are in a system that we are being overwhelmed. And you have no option than to just, what do I do? If we were to look at it, the people of Rivers State as are now, they are not even bothered. Governors have since been on holiday in Rivers State because of this power tussle between Wike, Minister Wike, and the governor Fubara. And the people, as you said, went to LF and fight. The glass offer. Governors have been on holiday because if Fubara is moving from one place to another, looking for any quota to reach Wike.
You are the convener of the Concerned Edo Citizens Forum.
Yes.
And you've always seen the people as pivotal when it comes to governance.
Yes.
And the essence of having governance is for the people to lead.
Of course.
Now, do you see the people leading in this aspect? Because you made mention of the Godfatherism factor. And you seem to celebrate the status quo and the need for, you know, Fubara to follow through status quo at the detriment of the people. How do you, protect the people from this fight, like what Adu said? Because if two elephants fight, the ground suffers. Because you have always, canvassed for the people. But now the people of Rivers State, they seem to be taken aback. The resources that is supposed to come to the state, it's not coming. And the fear of not even being able to pay civil servants, not to get infrastructural development handy, just because of the Godfatherism factor. Is that what you should say?
No.
The people's...
I am the voice of the common.
As the voice of the common.
When you say I'm celebrating Godfatherism, that's a fundamental, I'm giving you the facts on ground as today. The facts on ground, facts speak for itself. That is what I'm telling you. It's not about we the commoners, do we have what it takes to confront the bourgeois? The answer is no.
We have it because we are afraid. The greatest enemy to man is fear.
No!
Confront them. No. If you know you fight for the people, what about Mandela? Sarawiwa. After to go back the rest of it.
Mandela was not
to confront them.
Mandela was not.
There are resources, you confront them. You are afraid to speak to them.
The only way you can confront them, one, you stoop low to conquer. The process is a gradual process. For you to turn things around, it's not going to be very drastic. It's not going to be very immediate. It's a process. You follow the process. And that is the reason why when Fubara started this struggle, you recall, I was one of those who supported him. Because in that been issue, I was convinced that the man knows how to handle the situation. I was convinced that all the strategies are now with him. He can sit the Godfather. Because when you are daring the Godfather, because that is their investment, they take it very serious. When you want to get there, you must do you must lay your foundation properly.
Is it their farm?
It is not their farm, but that is the reality.
But what you are saying is that it should have been diplomatic.
Very diplomatic. That's the reason why I say it could have even taken.
And strategic.
Very strategic. It could have taken me over 4 years. So
even if it means dividing the purse
of the people. Before he got there, before Fubara got there, purse was divided.
This is not only
purse was divided.
So it's not new.
This is about the presidency.
If you are
when
saying
the hand of the president is in this matter,
if you are saying
we can have no option than to obey what the president
says. If you are
because
saying,
you need Rivers State.
if you are saying it's about presidency, the issue is even very direct. What is the interest of the president? Is it not for it to win Rivers State? Are we not saying that Fubara?
It's the president that needs to lobby, and not.
Are you not saying that Fubara cannot tell the president, since they now in their hand, the whole Rivers State, I will give you Rivers State.
Let's get to Ahmed. Ahmed, you are in the
United
United States. We'll come back to you, Don Ben, for you to take your reactions.
People should not be afraid.
Ahmed, you are in the United States, and you see the people of Rivers State, facing this quagmire. There is need for infrastructural development in Rivers State, and that is taking the back seat. And the issues of the resources not getting to Rivers State. I don't know if you are bothered about this. For the very fact that this will be on a standstill for a one man that seems to be powerful and influential, that they tag the Godfather. Do you see the people of Rivers State as pivotal in this? And shouldn't this be resolved in a way that the people of Rivers State will benefit? Because one thing is sure, if the impeachment goes through, who comes in? And would such person have the aspirations, the nitty-gritty to do that which the current governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has for Rivers State?
Okay, so yes, my heart goes out to the people of Rivers State, but it's an unfortunate situation. It's an avoidable situation, but here we are. And the reality on the ground is that it is going to happen one way or the other. Power is not just given easily. It is taken, and it's taken forcefully. What has happened is that the governor has backed himself into a corner, and all these sentiments the other gentleman is talking about, kneeling down here and bowing down there, all that is absolute rubbish. The simple matter of fact is that politically, Fubara has backed himself into a corner. And the corner he has found himself is what we played out in Edo State, for example, in recent memory. Look at what happened when the former governor came out and said he was battling with Godfathers. But the reality has now shown that all he was simply doing was cornering the resources of the state to himself. And he wanted to do that without the oversight functions of the state House of Assembly, by using a minority to appropriate funds, spend those funds, and without any oversight. Look at the revelations that are now awash in the state. So what Fubara has done, look, like I said very clearly, our political system is built on Godfatherism. The political godfather, let me bring in a different angle that may surprise you. The political, Wike is also the president's political godfather, in the sense that he delivered a Rivers State for the president, even though he took the state for his party, the governorship. For the presidency, he delivered it to the APC. So he, in a way, he's also the president's political godfather. And whether you like it or not, there will always be godfathers. The interest of the people is not mutually exclusive from the interest of the godfather. That is also another fallacy, to say that because he's a godfather, he's necessarily evil. That is entirely wrong. If you had known that he was evil, ab initio, you should not even have acquiesced to join his struggle. You should not even have agreed to come and be his lapdog, and then now want to turn against the system. Look at the politics of Rivers State, for example. It is very clear that most of the political elite are behind Wike. There's no doubt about that. Most of the political elite are behind Wike. So what you can infer from that is that the actual reprobate, the one that is on the wrong side, is the governor and his own followers. And what you are seeing play out is now they are taking their own pound of flesh. The people of Rivers State, it bleeds my heart that they have to go through this and they have to suffer. But let us forget hearsay, let us forget all these nonsensical stories of one person kneeling down to the other. The matter of fact is politics is bought, blood, and glory. Now there's bought, blood, the coup has happened, this is the consequence. Fubara has to pay the price.
Ahmed, you've articulated your point, but let's get your reactions, Don Ben.
Philip, you see, you cannot stay in the United States of America and be talking rubbish. and be saying nonsense when you are not on ground. Because you don't feel the brunt of the pain the people of Rivers State are feeling. I said last week here that when you withhold the state resources, you are trying to cause turmoil. You want to cause crisis. And if it's no to crisis, maybe Rivers State will automatically become a state of emergency very soon. And I'm saying that.
But the governor should have played according to the rules, like they say.
Like what I'm saying, I want to tell you.
Because he seemed to be because of all of this.
He said I'm talking rubbish for saying that from Wike, maybe it's Wike's spokesman in diaspora. I want to tell you something. When you are doing Godfatherism, when it comes to a limit, there will be problem. It happened between Obaseki and Oshomole. You know what happened in Edo State here? Obaseki said, well, you cannot win it, or you cannot just stampede me. So I have to have my own strategy. And it succeeded. That is what also played back again in this last election. When Obaseki anointed Aswe, and they fought him from behind us. So we know all these things. Until Godfatherism keep totally in this country, we will not have full and peaceful democracy.
Okay, but you understand it's part of the system.
It's part of the system, and it's wrong.
And you understand that for every politician to succeed, they should play along the rules.
If he plays along the basis,
okay. Do you also understand that Fubara seemed to be the architect of the misfortune that is faced with?
No, see, Fubara is never an architect of any misfortune. Fubara obeyed his master. When you obey somebody, for instance, when you want to bring in your legislators or commissioners, right? The Godfathers are the first point of refusal. They will also bring persons that, please, put this one, put this one, put this one, want this. He obeyed. But after you have given me the commissioners and the rest of it all, you want to also control the finance, the IGRO, the resources. Those are the things that cause problem. You understand what I'm saying? And Wike is now very, very unpopular in Rivers State. Mark me, speak anywhere. In the 23 local government of Rivers State, Wike is very, very unpopular now because of the problem that it has caused. Because the local government administration, they are not happy. For instance, this month, they are not going to get anything from the federal government allocation. And it's really hitting them, and they are sad with that development. You don't withhold person's resources because you are fighting a person. That one is a channel of its own entirely.
Interestingly,
yes.
Interestingly, there are so many twists and so many things to talk about regarding the Rivers State issue because it's an ongoing saga. But we really need to leave the conversation here pretty soon. Just before we do that, Mr. Roy, I'd love to get your predictions on what you think would actually turn out eventually in this whole situation happening in Rivers State. Because there are those persons who are scared that it might skyrocket into a political crisis affecting the people and governance in Rivers State. What are your predictions?
I think before I give you a straight answer to that, let me give you a historical analysis of what happened in Lagos.
We're going to press for time for that.
Yes. I'm working with you now. I'll be very fast.
You have a minute.
I know. When President Tinubu was the governor of Lagos, people approached courts to stop allocation to Lagos State. The Supreme Court said, no, we cannot do that. It's not even about the governor. It's about the people. Supreme Court is not just a court. It's also a policy court. But when it gets to Fubara, it was another thing entirely. That is enough for you to know that the Nigeria we are believing in is gradually going to where we cannot predict. You know, and this issue of removing Fubara, over 2 weeks ago, I said it. I said they are not even going to consider. The sad thing is that they will not consider the CJ of Rivers. If they are sitting again, somebody is going to move a motion that Fubara is ever impeached. Another person will say yes. And they will withdraw the police. And Fubara will go to court. And the court will uphold it. They are not going to follow the process. That is the Nigeria we are found ourselves. Are you not also
looking at the crisis? Are you not? Yes, exactly what I'm saying. The vulnerability of the people if Fubara is impeached.
Rivers State
because who's going to cover it? Does the president have the toga of the people?
Now let me quickly tell you now who's coming in. Immediately they remove the governor and the deputy. The speaker will be acting. Then the wicked crowd will also go back to a journal and pick another judge to come and contest. That's the tension there.
All right, let's get your closing remarks looking at the future of Rivers State beyond the impeachment saga. Ahmed. Well, I'm afraid we are not. Okay, over to you, Ahmed. In 1 minute, give us your closing remarks
issues
for the
of
future.
Finance of of Rivers State and the withholding of the funds is of paramount importance. Let's not mix issues. The local government funds were held because the Supreme Court has come out clearly saying where there are no elected officials, funds must be withheld. And in the case of Rivers State, it further went and said the governor had no business presenting a budget to a House of Assembly that was constituted by the minority. What we are seeing is a gradual shift from rule of anyhowness to the rule of proper following of the law. So it may take a while, it may take some time, but some of these things are building our democracy and we are mindful of them. Let us keep watching as things develop in Rivers State. There is not going to be any constitutional crisis. Nothing is going to happen. Fubara is just another group. At the end of the day, politicians...
Something will happen, my brother. Just forget about your talk. You can talk in America. You are not in Nigeria. You don't know what is happening. Don't see your...
Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Ahmed. And thank you so much for taking our time to be part of this discussion. And I wish you a beautiful day ahead of you. Let's get your closing remarks. You seem to be a little bit disturbed by what Ahmed said. But in 1 minute, your closing remarks.
He's in America, so you don't know what is happening here. If you go to the street of Rivers State, you know that, yes, that place is highly tense now. You understand me? I was the person that said Wike owns the Niger Delta, the Ijaw Nation, and the elites and the leaders 48 hours apology. And I give him ultimatum. He went to a function in Rivers State. He went there with the attendant of that place. Even the chiefs wrote him a letter that they should not attend because of the security situation there. He forced himself there. You know what happened? The attendants there were about just 220 persons that attended the function. Then the security personnel there were about 816 people. Joint task force.
Okay, thank you.
You force your way in.
Thank you so much.
And you force your way out. And the women chase you out.
Let's see how
it's going to be like the Abori Accord very soon. You see it.
All right. We pray that it doesn't degenerate. But thank you so much
for
this done, Ben Doyega, the national youth leader of PANDEF. And big thanks to you, Raul Rivabo, the voice of the people, convener of the Concerned Edo Citizens Forum.